Welcome to the Creative Brew, helping you keep your creative juices brewing. We're giving out chunks of insight, motivation, and practicality for your creative journey. My next partner is Elevate Coffee Trading, and if you appreciate specialty coffee, enjoy outdoor adventure, and love helping elevate the lives of children around the world, then you're going to love Elevate Coffee Trading. Their mission is to extract hope through love, coffee, and adventures. There's free shipping in the United States, and every bag of coffee helps sponsor health and education for children in coffee producing countries and in areas of need in the United States. You can use promo code Elevate21 on your next order, and you can follow their journey on social media at Elevate Coffee Trading. Or you can visit online at elevatecoffeetrading.com, and let's start extracting hope together. And this episode is brought to you by Boba Coffee, smuggling good vibes. Boba roasts their coffee beans each week and only offers the freshest coffee. They have espressos, lattes, cappuccinos, pour over, or drip coffee. You can try their cold brew coffee, nitro cold brew, or bulletproof coffee, and boba milk teas. They also have a wide assortment of delicious food. I would suggest you try the avocado toast, mimosas, wine, or beer. On the weekends, you can check out some great music like the Soto Six and food like Eliza the Shelf and others over the weekend, every Friday and Saturday, beginning at 6 p.m. You can check out everything they got going on Facebook and Instagram at Baba Coffee. To a new episode of the Creative Brew, giving you insights on your creative journey. Today, topic is normalizing hard things. The context of this is actually taken from just a quick little talk. For people that don't know me, like I said, I am a graphic designer, creative entrepreneur, content creator, but I also do a little coaching. And many of these episodes, or at least the concepts of them, I generally get from just a lot of things that I've talked to with my wrestling classes. And yeah, actually the other day, we talked about just normalizing hard things. I'm helping assistant. I'm an assistant coach with the girls team, with a JUCO college team out here in California, and really just really for them just learning hard things, like how to normalize hard things. Like I know sometimes it's, especially with wrestling, it's tough. Normally you get a little banged up. You're not going to be 100% healthy. You have to deal with weight management, nutrition, along with school. So there's a lot of things that honestly plays a part in it. But normally maybe the concepts that I do talk about, I feel like it can really, I feel like I try to do my best to connect the dots, and for something like this, I think this is applicable to anyone, to whatever walk of life that you're doing. Excuse me, I just got I got a coffee here from Sands Coffee Roasters out here in California, out here in outside California. So quick shout out to Sands Coffee Roasters, and got a little MCT oil in there. But yeah, I mean, just going back, there's a lot of things that play in part. Especially if you're trying to build something, if you're trying to create something, or if you have a goal or aspiration, you might as well be fine with normalizing hard things. Um, I sort of equate it to almost like a story or a video game. And like if you had the shortcut and you had all the codes, the cheat codes to get from point A to point B to reach your goal or end the game, what's the point of playing the game? What is it the process of you perhaps struggling through something and then finally finding the light bulb moment to get past that level. That those are things to where, like, that's one of those eureka moments. Those are things like that allows you to be able to say, you know what, I earned this. Like I put in so much time and effort. Um, Getting past that point, through that challenge and going on to the next one. But you learn so many things along the way. So I'm not saying, yes, I want you to have a great life. I want you to Whatever you do, I want you to, enjoy your life here. Be the best human you can be the best creator you can be. Just authentically express yourself. But at the same time, too, there's always gonna be hard paths, hard things. There's gonna be bumps down the road. Your job is to figure out your quest is to figure out how to normalize it, how to understand, like, hey, this is just another part of my story. Sometimes it can be really easy to, maybe you're create for me as a creator, maybe for you as a creator, you're creating and building something, and something happens, maybe a client or a customer doesn't like what doesn't like what you're putting out or producing, or you have some kind of hitch. It's always something. I'm just giving a quick example, but just understanding that that is the process of growing. That is the admission. That's the cost of admission for you growing into the best version of you. And once you can normalize that and say, you know what, not every day is going to be great, but if I can normalize, if I can have a standard of not really expectations, but have just a standard for me, like how do I want to show up every day? Um, what am I creating in my life? How am I helping my clients? Where can I create value? Once you normalize that, then the things that used to be hard, it's just normal. So when someone tries to compare, or maybe someone tries to maybe go the path, or maybe go the route that you went, or maybe you have some fans or followers, and they were like, "Well, I love what you're doing. Like, how did you get to this point?" Or maybe I want to do the same thing you're doing. They're gonna have to understand that if they want to get if they want to go the same route that you're going, if they want to get to the point that you're at, maybe currently at this moment, that they're gonna have to pay the cost of admission. They're gonna have to do all the things, go through all the challenges. Not to say you couldn't, mentor them and maybe say, hey, look, this is what I did. Maybe you can go this route. But at the same time, too, they may not have the work ethic required to be able to get to where you are now. So um, I think for me personally, I think just having that, I definitely wrestling definitely played a huge part in my self drive and self motivation and discipline. I mean, definitely working, as a creative entrepreneur. I sort of have my schedule, and I've got projects and deadlines. So I have to be really disciplined and have really great time management to be able to juggle multiple projects, not including podcasting, not including speaking engagements or coaching or any of that. So it's just one of those to where, like, for me, I've gotten used to, especially with wrestling. It's such a hard sport. I've gotten used to just normalizing hard things. Like, I still get up in the morning and I still work out. And for the most part, my quote unquote competitive career has been over. But at the same time, like, I I'm still in that habit. I'm still in that mode of just getting up and working out, moving, getting that energy going. So I can be available for my clients, or be available for my family, or be available for my relationships, for the people around me that need me to be available. And at the same time too, like giving more to myself too. I feel like the more that the more that I can, you know, have that routine, have that, not really not necessarily balance, but once I feel like, I've got everything needed to get the day going, that's where I know I can be my most creative self. I've seen it before, and I try to urge a lot of creators, hey, create a routine, create a little discipline, and I guarantee you, I feel like more ideals start to sprout up when you have that, you have that routine, you have that mode of creation, that practice, and giving yourself the space to be able to actually think and create. I think having that routine definitely helps. But going back, just uh, normalizing hard things. Sometimes our resistance is hurting us. Sometimes we feel like there's a certain project that we need to work on, or there's certain things that we need to. For my creators, like working on the business, working on taxes, working on marketing. You know, not to say we couldn't delegate it, but for right now, I mean, if you're doing all this stuff, you're having to juggle multiple things. You're gonna have to normalize just doing hard things. You're gonna have to normalize it until you get to a point to where you can delegate it out, or whenever you feel like you need to. But be all right. Be all right saying, you know what, I've got to get this done, and going after it. And I think once you do that, you start to build the resiliency to be able to handle a lot of different things. I've seen a lot of creators burn out. I've seen a lot of athletes, entrepreneurs burn out because they want the easy road. A lot of people want the easy road, or they want, hey, I want, or maybe something happens. Maybe you hit an opportunity and maybe something didn't happen the way you wanted. And, maybe they just sort of, quit for a month or 2 months or whatever, and then come back to it. Consistency is king, good or bad, whatever happens. I mean, if a great opportunity happens, you show up for it, make the most of that opportunity. Likewise, if you haven't had that opportunity yet, keep doing the work. Keep doing the work. Sooner or later, that work is going to shine. Sooner or later, people are going to see you. And those people that are the quote unquote overnight successes, they start to blossom, and they just pop up out of nowhere. But until then, you're just going to have to normalize hard work. You're going to have to normalize putting in all the reps, putting in the times when you don't want to do it, and you just, maybe you're on the computer, or you're writing one paragraph. It could be as simple as that, or maybe if you're drawing, or maybe you're trying to, just sketching, or maybe trying to figure out something for a new collection. Just, you know getting in your sketchbook and just creating awful things, just create bad things. Just getting that movement, moving that energy around. I feel like gets you in the mode of like, okay, maybe now I've got the momentum. Okay, now let's see if we can refine some things. But sometimes your bad ideas might be the best. Who knows? But you just have to get in that process of saying, you know what, I don't want to do it, but I need to do it. I have to do it, or I get to do it. Maybe it's just reframing that. If we go back into the art space, design space, sometimes we just have to reframe certain things that we feel like is hard. Maybe you just need to reframe it in a different way. Um, it's real interesting because it could be a situation where maybe it's something. It could be maybe a new relationship, or maybe you're going on a date, or maybe someone you're falling in love with. You could go through any challenge. You can go through any roadblock, anything for that person. And then likewise, maybe it's something that maybe when we don't have that drive or emotion, sometimes it could be a little bit tougher. But you'd be surprised, once we start to normalize like hard things, and we get used to saying, you know what, this is my standard, this is how I operate, my modus operandi, this is how I operate every day, this is my operational manual. Once you go by that, then whatever things that comes your way, whatever challenges, whatever opportunities, whatever anything, you know how to respond to it, you know how to deal with it. But and that could be for a lot of things. That could be for you know your mental health. That could be for any kind of issues that may sprout out. I'm sorry, excuse me, may sprout up. Is just knowing that, yeah, it's gonna be tough. I'm very fortunate that there's certain things that I don't have to deal with that maybe you have to deal with. But even then, learning how to normalize, what, be all right with saying, you know what, this is my struggle, be all right with it, and then learn how to see it for what it is. Ultimately, those things start to dissolve. I actually told that with my with my team yesterday is, what you fight, you fuel. We can sit there, we can either be resistant to change, resistant to new ideals, or maybe learning new skills. Those things, our resistance is killing us right now, because we refuse to adopt, we refuse to maybe unlearn certain things that may be killing us, that may be hurting us, be unwilling to be willing to unlearn. Be willing to say, you know what? Let's just start from scratch. Let's just start from square one and let's learn some new concepts and some new skills and then adopt those new skills, adopt those new mindsets, adopt those new concepts. It may be as easy as that. So let me know what you think. How would you normalize hard? What's hard? What's a hard thing for you? Um, maybe it's, for my health nuts, maybe it's doing some push-ups and maybe stop eating after 8 o'clock or whatever. I mean, it could be anything. I know I have that trouble. I have that issue sometimes. I love to snack a little bit. Like right now, like I'm actually, in the process of losing weight right now and sort of upping my nutrition for some competitions. But at the same time, like it's hard, but it's just once you normalize it, it starts to get easy. Not to say it on there's times where it doesn't get tough and like, man, I would love to have this right now. But once you figure out what your why is and staying on that course and understanding this is the process of growing and maybe understanding through that struggle, like what are the lessons right now? What are the things that maybe you need to learn about yourself? Sometimes even for my creators, sometimes we have trouble promoting ourselves. We have trouble, maybe if someone gives us validation or maybe someone's like, oh, you're such a great artist. Like sometimes we're not willing to receive that. Sometimes we're like, I'm all right, I'm all right. Or maybe we don't want to receive that validation. Um, be willing to receive that. You do great work. You're a creator, you're an artist, you're a musician. You do beautiful work. You're made for this. Uh, if someone gives you some validation or they tell you great job, receive it. Be willing to say, you know what, I am a really good artist. Not to say we're always working on our craft. I mean, it's all practice, but at the same time, like get used to receiving that love. It's all right. You're worth it. So that's what I got today. Learn to normalize hard things, figure out what your modus operandi is, and your resistance might be hurting you. Be willing to unlearn. Be willing to say, you know what? I don't know everything. I'm glad I don't know everything. Can we let go of some things that we no longer need in our life to bring in something new? That's how we get a little bit tougher. That's how we start to develop that grit. For my southerners and my east coast people, we got grit. It's a little bit more laid back on the west coast. So east coast, it's a whole different mindset. I was born in the south. We're workaholics. Like we have that grit. At the same time too, that's how we, for us, that's how we get things done. um Not to say I don't want you to, run yourself to death. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, hey, you keep grinding until, you just fall apart. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that there are going to be things that, especially if there's things that you want, you're going to have to be willing to do some of the tough things in order to get to that next level. It's all a video game. It is all a game. What skills, what people, what opportunities, what battles, what are those things that you're going to have to face to get to that next level? And be all right, learning. Be all right, struggling a little bit. It's part of your story. It's part of it. So when people read, maybe at the end of your life, and people go to chapter, 20 of your book, and they're like, wow, if they hadn't done this, they wouldn't have been able to accomplish such and such. You never know. This is your masterpiece. You never know. You never know what bad mistake or what you feel like might be an ugly brush mark. It might be a part of your mosaic. It might be a beautiful part of your great work. You never know. So until then, keep working, stay consistent, always learn, just be inspired, be creative. Um, that's what I got. Quick shout out. If you're interested, I've got a new art book out, actually volume one of my art book. I've got this available in various spots in Oceanside. But if you want one, I can ship them out online. Proceeds, percentage of each sale goes back to my art scholarship that me and my brother developed a couple years ago. So we're trying to give out some art scholarships and some grants for some students, some creators that maybe they're looking to create some different some projects or wanting to do some cool things. We are developing, we actually got the scholarship going right now. I've got to update some information on my website, on my main business website. So that'd be how people can apply. And yeah, we're looking to, figure out ways of, for me personally, helping out the creative community. And this is something that I wanted to do in remembrance of my mom, who was also a beautiful creator, and she passed away, a couple years ago. So I'm always doing things that, definitely in remembrance of her and just the someone that helped me out along my art journey and to really keep me confident in my creative skills. And I always, for people that do know me, and I mentioned it so many times on the podcast, I consider her like my first art teacher, and really creating and really gaining the skills needed for me to sort of discover my own style. But this is a scholarship in remembrance of her. So if you get a chance, if you want to purchase the art book, if you're here in the Oceanside area, you can get it at Studio Ace Artshop. You can get it at Mystic Ritual shop that's in Artist Alley in Oceanside, and then you can get it at the Oceanside Comic Stronghold. It's available at all those spots. And then if you want to, you can go online at langforddesign.com. And there should be a link on the front page to be able to go to get access right to the book, and if you want to buy it. So this is really a process as far as how I create a lot of my art, character designs, concept art. Working on volume 2 right now, and looking to do more of a sort of a how-to on how I create various logos and a lot of my art pieces and designs. So really cool. It's just something that I think for me sort of helps maybe giving back to the creative community and maybe to aspiring creators. So that's my gift to you, is this Worlds Within Worlds art book. So you get a chance, please check it out. So other than that, hey, quick shout out to my sponsors, Boba Coffee, based in Carlsbad, California. Elevate Coffee Trading, that's in Dallas, Texas. The Breakfast Mug, that's also in Oceanside, California, and Studio Ace Arts, that's in Oceanside. So if you're interested in sponsoring, give me a shout out. Let me know if it works, if we can collab on some different things. Let me know. So once again, be creative, stay inspired.
Hard work, really nothing else. I resort to smoking weed, yo, cause nothing helps. Called to hold me up, told them loot to sample up. We gotta come together now, cause I had enough. The time is now, there'll never be another one. It's a second lap.